Today we will continue with Next.js and the Material UI. Also, we will create some components in our application now, and then we will continue making some blog posts inside our application. So as you remember, the last time we were integrating some of the components directly from the Material UI. And today I would like to deep dive a bit more some of the components we can use in our application. So here there is a blog post. We can use the templates like this in our application. I would like to show you. So this is one of the example blog which is created with Material UI. But what I would like to make, I would like to create some of these cards like this and show all of them in our application in a grid system. Alright, so let's start. In my editor, I started my application here, and if we go to pages now, as you remember, we have created our blog page, but it was totally empty, and we just add a couple of stuff to show through how the routing is working. What we will do today, we will add a couple of cards, and these cards will head us to dynamic blog text, which we will use in our application. So let's start with generating our first post here with our first blog header, and we will create a component which is getting some props from this blog component, and we will map through the blog posts we have, and we will show these in our UI. So as you remember, I showed you here, there are in the template there are some card elements. Let's see how are these used. If we go to components, and if we search for a card here, we see there are basic cards like this. We can use this one, or we can create such a image with the button here. Also there are some rich text we can directly see. But what I would like to do, I would like to make media, and I would like to just create one image, and I would like to also show directly these image here with the text, title, and the body. Also we will have the share button and the learn more, and when we click the learn more, it will take us to the blog itself, like the post itself. So if we go to first, if we look at the grids, we need to set some grids in our application currently, so we can use these cards much more easy. So in the layout section, you see there is a grid. Also there is a containers. We can use the containers like this. There is a stack. We can make them one by one, but also there is a box we can use directly. But currently I would like to make some grids first, then we can use these grids for showing our blog posts. So let's create our grids like this, and we will have, I'm planning to create three different elements in the same column. So if we get these, when we look at these code, if we go to our blog page and apply these stylings and also all of the component itself, we can able to use that directly. So let me take this component here a bit more down, paste that, and we have the basic grid right now as a default export. Also is complaining because we have multiple default exports, but we will clean that up in a second. So let me take this box elements and put it here. Also, we cannot render two components in the same component. I will delete these ones. I will also delete that. I will also delete this one. As you see, now our grid system is mostly ready. But as you might notice, we have 8448. And this is the 8448. But what we would like to do, we would like to make them 444. So this will be an extra for now. Let's kill it. And from here, if we go to our application, we just see the items here directly as stated here. So I might make a bit zoom. As you can see, we have three elements in our grid now. Also, I would like to put that into a container. It will seem much more in some fixed space. And let's see how it's used. So we have the container element. We can get it from here. We just imported our container now. And also, let's get this container directly outside of our box element. All right. Now, as you see, our container has arrived here. So our grid system seems much more smaller. Of course, we can change the container and we can change the max width. Seems like a small here. You will see, as you see here on the component, we have added the max width as a small. But we can also make it fixed, and this will be fixed whatever responsiveness we are using. But let's make that medium so we can see the difference. So as you see, these component has been get a bit more larger. I will show that one more time. This is the small and this is the medium. We can make it also for the large. I believe it was a LG, yes. Also, we can make it for X large for very big screens. But let's make it large for now. And as you see, our grid system is mostly ready. And to be able to just add a nice header, or maybe some let's add some typography, or I'm just thinking what we can add. So maybe we can just add the let's see, maybe we can add some menu here directly, but for now I think we can just leave add just here just a header of this as a blog for now, and maybe we can continue that in the next sections. So let's add h1 here. As a blog. So we added our h1 directly there, and we see our blog header directly came up. So what if we want to make it centered? Like if you want to use these element in center of the application, we can do that directly inside with the CSS, or we can maybe put that into a box element. So let's go here. We can just generate a box as we have here, and also we can close it like that. So it has the flex grow 1 styling. And this flex and in the small this is only works in the SX parameter here, Material UI box SX. So we will see the SX prop directly here, and it says this is a prop shortcut for defining custom style that has access to the theme. So the SX directly we can add the different styling for our box elements like that. And we can use the, for example, if you want to add a border directly to that element, to that box, we can directly add it like this, border and 1. As you see, we just receive our border now. And here, let's make this in. Let's look at how we can put these box directly into the display to center directly. So as you see, there is a justify content, and here in the justify content there is a flex system has been used. So if we add that as a flex start, it will add at the beginning, the flex end puts at the end, but what we want to use is the justify content into a center. So When you use that box, you can just directly add the justify content center to centering the elements you would like to. It might interfere with the H1 element currently we have. If we delete this one, or if we just make that, let me go to find the header element here in the Material UI. So let me go to find the typography so we can see it, H1 heading, for example, directly here. So what we need a typography element, which is the variant as H1, the component as a H2, or we can generate as we want. So let's get this one, and here let's call it that block. We need to import this typography. I forgot to import that. So let's see which component is using that. So let me find it here. So it's in the import typography and the Material UI, material typography. So let's add this here. So we will not see this error anymore. So we can open our page. As you see, we used our blog text directly here. And but something regarding to the justify content currently didn't work on this. So I will find a way how we can add that in our system, and I'm trying to understand why is that not centering the element as we want directly to here. So we have justify content, and also we have, let me find it. So we might need to add also align items to center. So let me add that as well. So let's see. It didn't show up still. So I'm looking for a way directly how we can use our box element, and I will give me a second now. I'm trying to find it here as we have it here. What we forget is display flex. We have to add the flex to use this justify content. So let's add it to here. Display flex. And let's remove the flex scroll one. We will have our border and the block text here. Yes, we made it. Now our element is on the center, but let's make it H1 again with the typography. So let's go here, check this out, how we were using, if you forget, and let's make it this one as a h2 now. So we will just add our blog, and when we go to our page now, yeah, we can see our blog text has come up here. So if you want to add some spacing between this grid and the header, we need to add margin to this, or we can add some spacing directly like that. So as you see, we have, it is for margin for SX value here, we can directly use the margin for 2. So if we came here and we can come up here and say M2 will grow our margin to 16 pixel. So as you see, the difference, the size has been appeared here. So if we say MT, let's say 6, it will be much more obvious now. So you see the difference has been opened, and now we can add any margin levels as we want in the feature. So basically we have prepared all of our structure for our blog now, and what I would like to do as we start at the beginning, I will go to card and generate this media card in our application as a component, of course. And then we can use that card element directly in our blog page. So inside the pages, as a folder structure, you can use the components in outside of the pages. It will be much more useful if you are using these components in the another sections of the application. But if you don't use that component, if you're only using at one place and there is no common use cases for that component, you can use that into the blog. This in the pages, you can just generate a component here and you can use like that. But let's assume we will use many components in our applications, and I believe this card here, the media card, will be used mostly. So in the components, I have created media card index.ts file. So as you see, we created the components file, then I created the media card and the index.ts. Sorry, index.tsx, of course. Our linterers directly gave us all of the information we need, so it is really good if you are using ESLint or some kind of IDE extensions. It is very useful when you make this kind of errors in your application, and by the time you will get used to these errors when you write code many times. But if you're a beginner, it will be really nice. It will show you directly exactly at the same time when you have that issue. So at the beginning, I am not passing any properties right now for our media card. And since this is a static image, let's try to take it from the Material UI CDN. So let's open that image in a new tab, and we can just copy this one, and in the future we can pass our image directly from our component as a props. But now just make it like that, and now here if we go to blog.index, we can, and here in the item we can directly use our media card component. So if you want to use that, you can directly import it out in top of the page, or you can write it like that and it will automatically import it for you as a media card. So here, as you see, our import directly come up here. Let's put these like that, and relative imports can be live here. So we have our media card now. So what we did, we just created our component, and we should be able to see our component here. Yes, it is there. So we created the same component here with the text, title, and the body, also the learn more, and the share button. And let's clear that item because it is adding the border outside of the here. As you see, now the border is gone. We have only the border for this card. And let's replace this card with another grids. Yes, so we have 3 different elements for our application now. That's cool. Now let's change their titles and the this description texts with props. How we can do that? Very nice. So here we can, in the function component, we can add title and we can add description. Also, we can add image URL. Of course, since we are using all of them into the TypeScript now, we should create here, as you see, it will say the title has any type. We need to specify these types in our component. So let's create type media card props type, and we will add here title, string, description, string, image URL, string. All right. Now we can add it directly here. So in this sense, it will warn us and say these are not used. So we need to use this props in required places. So as you remember on the card media, we will replace that, but let's first copy this URL because we will need it. Change here image URL. Also here we will change title, and let's copy this one as well, and we will have description. So what we did, we pass our props, and when we go to our application now, we will see, since we are not passing any props, all of them is empty. So let's go to our application, and you see when we use that, it says it has missing attributes. And on your linter, you can directly add them like that. And let's paste our, what was it? This was the description we have. So we can use it like this. So as you see here on the description, since it is more than 100 lines, sorry, 100 characters, it just wrap all of them into the string replacement. So I would like to remove this spaces and put this sign to make all of them in the string literal. That's it. And now the title was the lizard. Let's see, do we have any, doesn't have the required, so we add them right now. It should be fixed very soon. Yes, as you see the error is gone, but another uses here we have the same error. Now let's fix all of them, and on the image URL we forget that. So on the image URL, let's come up here and open the image one more time and get that reptile image. So let's see how is our application looking. As you see, we changed our component directly with the props, and we have all of the required blog images and all of the files has been added directly. If we want to change, instead of lizard, if we want to use some another animals, let's go to Material UI and see. I think all of them is a lizard now, but let's find another images here. And there is a food image, we can directly get it from there, paella. And let's make it the second one as a paella here. We didn't touch any component at the beginning. What are we doing? We are just changing the props now. So as you see, we have the paella, and let's make it receipt of the paella. And if we go to our application, you will see the changes pop up directly. It doesn't have the static fixed length of these boxes now, but we can of course add them later on. And right now I'm just trying to show all of the props and how we can use that. And also let's get another image which we can use, and let's say this is an avatar. I think we can find some images there directly. Nope, I couldn't find it. So let's find an image directly in some for the animals. Let's say puppy image. We go to images here on the Google and search for the Creative Commons license. Yeah, we can use one of these. So let's get this one. So we get the image, we will update it here. It might not look very good, but let's see if it works. Yeah, we have our puppy now. So let's call it puppy, your best friend. We need to change that to a string literal one more time. And now, as you see, all our blog posts can be made like this. What happens if you want to add 3 more? You copy this grid, add it down below. When we have these data in the future, when you have more blog posts, we will add all of these blog posts into the mapping function, and it will render you all of the blog values directly. In the future, I'm planning to save all of these data to database, so we can get all of these data directly from database, and we can explain also how we can map them through. But this video took a bit while than I was expecting. Thank you for listening me, and see you in next videos. Don't forget to subscribe, please. Have a nice day.